This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. Finally managed to get the boys, Spencer Oliver, Johnny Nelson on camera. Boys, we've got to fly in to what happened yesterday. The announcement, just to see the two come head-to-head, press conference-wise and the fight poster. Just a little bit of a finally about yesterday. Johnny, I'll come to you first.
You're talking Usyk and Fury.
Well, the only thing that happened yesterday, right?
Let me tell you this. Fury knows whatever he says will be lost in translation against Usyk, and he knows that. So when we saw the head-to-head, Fury's got to somehow get into his head because Fury's the best player. He'll sometimes play the fool to catch the wise, and sometimes try and play the bully. He'll sometimes try and play your pal. But with Usyk, he's trying to figure out what is going to get me in this guy's head. Now, his last fight would have got in Usyk's head. Usyk be thinking, you know what, soft touch, this is easy. And I'm quite sure that God's might have worked in a mysterious way to say for Tyson Fury to not respect Ngannou the way he did and perform the way he did. I don't believe he trained to the best of his ability. So therefore, I do believe if he boxes Usyk, then we'll see another amazing performance. But if he's telling the truth when he did train to the best of his ability in his last fight, that is a massive indicator to say his legs have gone. So do you either believe the lie or do you believe the other option? And so this is the situation in. So I personally think he didn't train to the best of his ability. I think he boxes Usyk and he boxes smart, he boxes sharp. I think he's too big and a too big a version of Usyk for Usyk to beat him.
Yeah. And Spence, what do you think about yesterday?
Yeah, I'm pretty much with that actually. So I think that Tyson Fury, listen, when a fighter hasn't got that fear factor in him, he will underperform. Doesn't matter what training he's put in, whether he's trained to the best of his ability, because he's going in there and you've got to have that. What gives you the edge, Oscar, is that fear factor that kicks off that nervous adrenaline, and that brings, like, it's a champion sort of feed off that and turn that into a positive energy and perform at a high level. Fury, I think, thought he just had to turn up to win. He could go in there, clown around, switch from orthodox southpaw, hands low, be a little bit flashy and just play around with this guy that's never been in a boxing ring before. But guess what? Boom, got tagged in the third round, and then it all started changing. And Johnny, as as a fighter, when things are not going your way and you're expecting one thing like that, it's very difficult to turn that around in that sort of situation.
It seems like it all gets on top of you quite quickly.
It gets on top of you. So listen, the boxing gods were with Fury. There's a lot of people, including myself, thought that he might have just lost that fight. It could have gone one way or the other. Subjective scoring, but he won't make that mistake again. Like, forget all this that I think, people are saying, I have his legs gone, this and that. Like, he's saying he trained to the best of his ability. I don't think that he did train to the best of his ability, but like, if you leave certain stones unturned, you will underperform with that, like I said to you, that fear factor not being there, etc. And I, looking at Fury, I think, no, I don't think there is. And like, historically, Fury, when he's boxed below par, if you go back to like Otto Wallin, when he boxed Otto Wallin, he went in there, that same sort of mentality. He boxed under par, and then he comes back and he beats Deontay Wilder in one of the greatest fights, biggest performances. He does that, Fury, and I think that with what's happened there with Ngannou, I think we'll see one of career best performances with Fury. And I'm with Johnny, as in, I think he has all the attributes in his favour. He's got good hand speed, he's got a great boxing IQ, he's a lot bigger, he uses that strength, and that's what it is about Fury. He don't mind rolling the dice, getting in there. He'll do what he has to do to win the fight. And I think that, he'll just overpower Oleksandr Usyk. I think that the size will be a massive factor in this one. So that's where I'm at with it. I think that he will go in and put a great performance off the back of that terrible performance against Ngannou.
I know it was a very different Tyson Fury, but you look at the one who got dropped by Steve Cunningham, a smaller, slipperier fighter, again, a very different fighter in complete to Usyk, and a very different Fury back then. But you got that smaller, slippery guy in Usyk, and a southpaw as well. Is this the trickiest fight that Tyson will have ever faced?
Oh, without a doubt. I think this is the smartest opponent he's ever faced. I think now Tyson Fury, after all the experience he's had to the point position he's got, he's now in with the best opponent he has ever faced, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And so therefore we'll see if all that skill, all that training, all that bragging and boasting will come to fruition. It should do, but Usyk is the best he's ever boxed.
I think that also what Tyson Fury's done here with that performance against Ngannou and opened up that conversation about, is he gone? Has his legs gone? As Father Time caught up with him at 35 years of age, he's been around a long time, and that could be a factor. And if it is, obviously Usyk, who's looked brilliant in recent times, you'd go, well, then you've got to give him a real shout. But do you know what I saw with Oleksandr Usyk, which made me go strongly to lean towards Tyson Fury, was when he boxed Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois had the right idea out in Poland back in August, and that shot that was deemed a low blow, that wasn't a low blow, because I was out there, and it hit the waistband. The waistband was high, because he wears that notoriously high. Hit the waistband, and he went over, and he used his experience. And what happened with Dubois was, all that time that he was waiting in the corner, stupidly, he allowed himself to come down, and he should have rolled the dice and just gone for it, but he didn't. And he sort of blew a gasket a little bit. But Fury won't do that. But what I saw there with Usyk in that fight was, I saw a lot of vulnerabilities, and I also saw times when Daniel was catching him, and when Daniel bullied him, he wasn't comfortable with it.
I think
he wasn't comfortable
so I think
with
what you're saying with Usyk, when he's on top, he's on top. But when the quit's there, you see it. It's a massive red flag.
Yeah.
And that when he went down, instinctively went down, I thought, shit, my man's got it in his DNA. But you'd have to dig deep to try and find it.
Body shots, he's definitely weak around the body. I think we've seen that in the amateurs before, when he's boxed in the amateurs. Every time Usyk's been hurt, it has been to the body. Daniel admittedly give him that great shot, but that was definitely a body shot. I think Fury will, take a lot of confidence from that. But it's just that Fury knows that he's got to use his attributes, that his size, to bully him. Like, ragdoll him. And that's what he has to do. And I think that's what he will do. And I think that's why he comes out victorious. I saw, only going off Usyk's last performance, there was something there. Johnny, as a fighter, when you look at it and you go, I can see little vulnerabilities there, and maybe little cracks starting to appear in you. You're 37 as well. He's been around a long time. So those questions could be asked about Usyk off his last performance against Dubois. So for that reason, I'm quite heavily in favour of Fury on this one.
Just one more thing in terms of Fury's approach to the fight. I know perhaps the general consensus would be, Fury will stick behind the jab and kind of move and dance around. But the switch from Wilder 1 to Wilder 3 and the intent from Fury to go forward and kind of stick it on him, is that the manner to approach Usyk? Because I think for years it's always been, when they do fight, Fury will just go pop, pop, stick behind the jab, taller, longer. But is the approach to look at Usyk and go, you know what, you're having it?
Fury's got to use his size and his weight and his boxing ability. If he tries to use footwork to outsmart Usyk, it's not going to work. Usyk's a lot smoother in how he executes what he does. So Fury's got to use all these natural attributes on top of his boxing ability.
Yeah.
That beats Usyk.
Yeah, absolutely. It's educated pressure from Fury, but he's got to outman him. That's what he's got to do. Like, if you go back to a Fury fight when he boxed Derek Chisora, and I know you're talking about different levels here and whatnot, but you saw Fury, what he was doing, when he was slowly breaking Derek upwards, he was feinting. You see these little feints, and he was setting traps and stuff like that. So, I know that Usyk's the one with the boxing IQ, but Fury's very smart as well. But what Fury's got to do is he's got to use that strength and use it. Like, it's got to be educated pressure, but that's what he's got to do to get this job done. And that's what I believe he will do, because he knows that. He's very good. He's got that adaptability. That's why he's the #1 heavyweight in the world, because he can box forwards, sideways, backwards, whatever the opponent in front of him. And he'll know that he's got to go at Usyk and bully him.